All right, now we're going to be doing the American Safety AS-75. Now this is a single component acrylic non-skid coating. This is ideal for anywhere we have foot traffic, even barefoot traffic. This can be used in walkways. It's extremely popular on stairs, within stadiums. You can also use it in showers. They use it a lot in water parks and locker rooms, shower stalls, things like that. Because it's an acrylic, it has a couple of advantages. One, it has some elastomeric properties to it, so it's got some flexibility. It can bridge some small cracks, give you some waterproofing to an extent. Also, because it's an acrylic, it can be applied over asphalt. So if you're in an airport or some other type of public facility where you have a walkway that maybe is incorporated into an asphalt area as well as concrete, this product can go on both of those. It can also be used obviously on concrete, it can be used on wood or fiberglass. So very versatile product. It does not have nearly as aggressive a non-skid texture as some of the other American Safety products. This probably has the least amount of texture of any of them. It is single component, so there's not a hardener to be mixed. The aggregate that gives it the texture is already in the bucket, so you need to make sure you pre-blend really, really well. Now, the bucket that we're using today has been used before. That is another advantage of this product being a single component. You can mix it up, use a little bit as you need, seal it off, make sure it's good and sealed, and then put it back on the shelf. And within its intended shelf life, you can actually reuse, open it up and reuse it again. So we're going to pre-blend the material, make sure the aggregate is fully suspended, and then we're going to come back and apply some. All right, now that we've got the material properly blended, we have all the aggregate fully suspended, Greg's going to pour us out a bead, and we're going to apply this just like you would almost any of the other American Safety non-skid products. Now on this one, we're using a short nap, just standard roller cover. Now you can use what's called an American Safety bristle cover. The bristle cover is actually made out of a special material that prevents it from soaking up very much of the resin. Now what you'll run into with a standard roller cover is the first couple of passes with your roller, it's going to absorb a lot of the resin that's in the coating. And so you end up with a little bit of a dry area. And so you have to make sure you come back and roll the material out and make sure it's nice and even. But what you're doing is, again, you're just using the roller to spread the material. Your coverage rate is about 70 square foot per gallon. Give me a little bit more out there, Greg. This has a nice stippled texture to it. It's not extremely aggressive, so it's still very easy to clean. You can still walk on this in your bare feet without getting having to worry about hurting yourself. That's why it's ideal for barefoot traffic areas. Again, it has the flexibility from the acrylic resin, has great UV stability when using outdoors. Obviously, the color that we're applying here is the safety yellow, great for walkways on interior and exterior applications. Your return to service for foot traffic is going to be about 4 hours, so it's a very fast return to service. You can go heavy traffic in about 24 hours. This product does come in neutral tint bases, so you can do custom colors on this product. It also comes in 1 gallon and 5 gallon cans. So again, great product. Now we're going to move on and we're going to do several other products from American Safety, as you can see, showing several of the different application techniques as well as the different textures. All right, this time we're going to be applying the American Safety AS-150. This is a HAPS-free product. HAPS is going to be hazardous volatile organic compound. What they've done is they've engineered this. It does actually have some solvent in it, but it's considered an exempt solvent. So it's got a little bit of a solvent odor to it, but it's not considered hazardous to your health. It is single component, extremely easy to use. Again, just like the AS-75 that we just did, the AS-150 can be resealed and used again because it's not a two-component material. You're going to get this. This has a more aggressive texture. This is great for stairways, great for walkways, ramps. both steel wheeled, rubber wheeled, as well as foot traffic ramps. I sell this a lot in manufacturing facilities where they have heavy foot traffic and they need something that's extremely durable, but they also need it to be safe and non-skid. It has good chemical resistant properties. It also has a proprietary ingredient known as Kevlar, which I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. The Kevlar adds a significant amount of durability to this product, gives it longevity versus other products that are similar in the market. Now again, you do have an angular aluminum oxide aggregate that's incorporated into the resin. When it ships to you, that resin will have, or that aggregate will have settled in the resin. So you need to pre-blend extremely well to make sure that's fully suspended. So Greg's going to mix this up for us, typically about 2 to 3 minutes, and then we're going to pour some out and we'll do some application for you. All right, now that we've got our material properly mixed, again we mixed for about 2 to 3 minutes, we've got all of the aggregate fully suspended within the resin. We're going to pour out a small bead. We're going to use the phenolic roller, or in this case we're using a piece of PVC pipe because it is reusable. We're going to spread this out, and you may or may not notice from the video, but it is going to have a significantly greater stipple texture. You do apply this in a similar flat fashion. All the American Safety products are applied very similarly. You just simply press it out with your roller. That gives it the non-skid texture that you're looking for. You do not need to overwork it. All you're simply doing is spreading the material out. This material has an advantage in that it can be spray applied. It can be applied by a trowel. Or the most common is the application by roller, which you see here. Your coverage rates are going to vary. You're probably going to be looking at about 40 to 50 square feet per gallon when applying with a roller. Again, you don't want to spread it on too thick. If you get too thick, what happens is your texture will actually flow out. And so you'll start off with a stipple, and then you'll come back, and if the material's too thick, it'll end up just sort of flowing down, and it'll be a little bit too smooth. So when you apply this material, you typically want to get a little bit more down pressure on your roller to make sure that you're going thin enough. I am probably rolling this way more than it needs to be rolled. Typically it's just a once and done, and then you just let it dry. Now the AS150 is single component, so there's no hardener to be mixed. You can reseal the bucket and use what you need. Reseal the bucket and then put it back on the shelf and use it again later. It comes in 1 gallon and 5 gallon pails. It also comes in the standard colors, which are going to be safety yellow, it's going to be medium gray, and black. You can get this in a neutral tint base and have it tinted to custom colors, which is pretty common. Again, great product, a little bit more aggressive on the texture from the AS75. You've got a return to service of about 12 to 24 hours for foot traffic. They're asking for about 48 to 72 hours for full service. So a little bit longer curing time on this one, but again, very durable, probably the most popular product that we sell from American Safety. Now we've done the AS75, we've jumped over, we did the AS150, now we're going to do the AS175. Now the AS175 is again great for water parks, great for foot traffic in general. It is a waterborne 2-part epoxy, so we're looking at a little bit shorter working time. We've got about an hour pot life on this. Again, you have your aggregate already mixed into the matrix, so all we're doing is adding the hardener. As you can see, it is a little bit thick, so we're using a paint stirrer just to make sure we get all of that out. We're going to use our electric drill. We're going to mix for about 2 to 3 minutes. Make sure you've got both components completely blended together. Also, make sure you've got the non-skid aggregate completely suspended in the matrix. We'll pour some out, we'll spread it. With this one, again, we're going to use the phenolic core roller, or as you can see here, we're using a piece of PVC pipe, which we simply cleaned in some xylene so that we can reuse it. Stand by, we're going to get this mixed up, and then we'll show you how the application goes. Now the AS175, as we said earlier, is extremely popular in recreational areas. So anything from water parks to parks, walkways, walking paths. Great for wet areas. This one is also popular in bathrooms and showers and locker rooms. They use this a lot in the water parks around the country in their wet areas. It has, since this is a water-based epoxy, it has virtually no odor. Has an extremely easy to use, or excuse me, easy to clean texture. It has one of the lower textures with regard to stipple. Very similar, if you will, to the AS175. However, this is more durable because it is a two-part water-based epoxy. The coverage rate is significantly greater on this product. You're looking at about 90 square foot per gallon. So the economy is a lot better on this one. Give me just a little bit more down there, Greg. Just a little right there. Return to service on this one, you're looking at about 24 hours for foot traffic, and again maybe about 48 hours for heavy traffic. This one does come in 1 and 5 gallon containers, and it is also available in a tint base so that we can do custom colors for you. All right, all of these products, I don't know that I've mentioned it yet, are typically going to be applied over a properly prepared and primed substrate. Obviously, for the training purposes, we're putting this directly to the board, but typically you would use the PS100 WB primer, which we demonstrated in another video going over concrete, or you can also use their metal primers, the MS7CZ or the MS11CZ LT primer for lower temperatures if you're going over metal. All right, now we're going to demonstrate the AS-250. Now, of all the products that we've done so far, this is going to have the most aggressive texture. This has a slightly higher viscosity than the AS-150 did. The stipple is going to be similar, although it should be a little bit higher. It's got a slightly larger aggregate in it. It is a two-part material, so your working time is going to be limited, although it does have a 4-hour pot life. So for a two-part material, you have a lot of working time. Two components, we're going to mix the A and the B. Just like all of the American Safety products, your aluminum oxide angular non-skid aggregate is already mixed into the matrix, so you don't have to add that in the field. That is the beauty of all the products that we're showing you here is. It's not a sand and paint, which has been very, very commonly used over the years from a maintenance standpoint of trying to make a non-skid coating. You put down a layer of paint or some type of floor epoxy, you throw some sand in it or some type of grit, and then you come back and you put another coat on it to lock it in. That doesn't work as well as the American Safety products because the aggregate is already in the matrix, and so it's more of a one-step application. You have more resin holding and encapsulating the aggregate. You have a larger and a much more durable aggregate. Aluminum oxide, from an aggregate standpoint, if you were to do a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the hardest, this is going to, aluminum oxide is probably going to be a 2 or a 3. So it's an extremely hard aggregate versus a normal silica sand, which is going to be very, very low, maybe an 8. So it's going to be much softer. It tends to break apart even under foot traffic or cart traffic sometimes. Now the AS-250, we're going to mix for about 2 to 3 minutes, just like we would any of the two-part materials. Make sure that both components are blended together very well. There's no streaks. Also to make sure that the aluminum oxide is completely suspended. So we'll mix this up and then we'll show the application. All right, now that we've got the material blended, we're going to go ahead and apply. This goes down just like, again, all of the other American Safety products. You're going to pour a bead of material out on the floor, and you're going to use the appropriate roller to spread. This product is used, again, with a phenolic core roller, or as you can see here, we're reusing our PVC pipe for economy's sake. Now, this product is a two-part material. It is going to be the most durable of all the products we've shown you so far. It is an epoxy resin. It has great chemical resistance. It's going to have the larger aggregate in it. It is used often for forklift and heavy, even vehicular traffic. Great for parking garages, great for manufacturing facilities where perhaps you have forklifts that are going from inside to outside. So you've got the weather, you've got rain, you've got forklifts that are carrying heavy pallets of material, and they're coming in and perhaps there is a slip and fall or a slide or stopping hazard. I've sold a lot of this material over the years to those exact types of applications. It goes on and it lasts a really long time. Your coverage rate on this product when applying by roll or trowel is about 40 to 50 square feet per gallon. You can spray apply a couple of these materials. I'm hoping to get my hands on the appropriate equipment so that I can demonstrate that for you guys. However, what you see here is probably the most common application technique of any of these materials. Again, I don't know if you can see it. I'll try to take some individual pictures a little bit closer up. In the difference of texture of these, this is a much more aggressive texture, ideal for very heavy forklift and cart and even vehicular traffic. Now, we've got a long working time, so we've got about 4 hours to put this material out. So even though it is a two-part epoxy, it's very user-friendly. Your return to service is about 24 hours for light traffic, up to about 72 hours for full traffic. Comes in 1 and 5 gallon cans. The AS-250 is going to come only in the standard colors, which are going to be the tile red as you see here, the light gray, or excuse me, medium gray, and the black. So if you have any questions about these specific products, please feel free to give us a call. Our phone number is 877-202-3820, or you can visit our website at www.southern-industrial.com.